Hello everyone. Suppose you are entering a query by mobile and you are also entering a query by mobile phones. Then the thing is, by mobile phones is having a better intent. Now how this intent is justified? This is a concept which Google have introduced in the late 2015 and early 2016, known as rank brain algorithm. And in this today's episode, we would be discussing more about rank brain algorithm and how this have shaped the future of the SEOs. And we also have someone special in this video who is associated with this particular concept. He is none other than one of the senior analysts at Datter. His name is Shubhajit Ghosh, and he would be joining us today, and he would be sharing his own thoughts regarding much of the interactions and much of the thesis which can really shape the future of the SEOs with the help of rank brain algorithm. So let us dive in. So the thing is, what actually is a rank brain algorithm? So rank brain algorithm is actually a algorithm which is totally driven by machine learning and artificial intelligence, which have been introduced by Google, officially by Google, and the main purpose of this is to solve string to the things, which means that this can clearly label out proper intent from a user generated query, because previously users could have typed unnecessary search queries like by mobile. So mobile can be anything. Mobile can be a van, mobile can be a car, mobile can be a bike, or even mobile can be a phone. So this is the main thing, a particular string to a particular entity. This differentiations and this concept is totally categorized by natural language processing, and the main algorithm is patented by RankBrain and Hummingbird together, which have been introduced by Google. Okay, so now I am bringing someone special into the screen. His name is Shubhajit Ghosh, and he is one of the senior analysts here at Datter. So we would be understanding today more about rank brain algorithm and how rank brain works, and some of the best strategies explained by him, which can help us to make sure that the futuristic SEO is optimized, catering to the needs of the rank brain algorithm. So welcome, Shubhajit. So the thing is, today we are having a discussion on rank brain algorithm, and I want your inputs to our audiences on how rank brain algorithm can shape the future of the SEOs, and also how rank brain algorithms can make sure that the future of the SEO is not about just keyword optimization, rather it's full about intent and full about entity based optimizations. So welcome aboard. So we would be having more discussions with you today.
So it's a very interesting concept that was introduced by Google, and it came as a next to Hummingbird. So what happened before Hummingbird? So Hummingbird introduced a new concept called entities. I hope you saw, Tuhin just told about strings and things. So before Hummingbird, what used to happen was you entered a string in Google, which was taken by Google as a string of text. It was just a string of characters which was analyzed by Google, and it used to rank specific pieces of content on the basis of specific words called keywords. Now, after Hummingbird came into the picture, everything changed. Because Google started to understand that there are certain words which are more authoritative than the others. Certain words that introduce certain, which represented certain physical things, or let's say some authoritative figures, like some specific celebrities or persons. So these things were occurred more often in the internet than other normal words. These things are specified as entities or authoritative figures. Now let's understand how the transition from strings to things actually took place. So first of all, as you can see in the screen, if we type the word Datware, which is our company, like in Google searches, then Google understands it's not just a word but as an entity. And what happens that each entity is assigned an entity ID as you can see in the screen. So let's say we enter a string of sentence such as Jason Bond. Dave Davies is a digital marketer who wears red shirts and is a friend of Jason Barnard. So Google understands red shirts because it's a product. Google understands Jason Barnard, who is who works in SEJ. He's an authoritative figure. And Google understands digital marketing. It's these three are entities, but Google doesn't understand who is Dave Davies. But here's where RankBrain comes in. RankBrain can make semantic relationships between entities when they are used like together in a sentence. So if Google can understand digital marketing, Google can understand Jason Barnard from his profiles, and if Google can understand what is red shirts, then it can easily understand that Dave Davies is a friend of Jason Barnard and is a digital marketer, and he likes red shirts. So that's how RankBrain actually works. RankBrain was created to make Google understand things, queries that it hadn't encountered before. Like it was created to understand those queries, those long tail question queries, like we ask in our everyday lives, but Google has to give answer to those questions, give context to those questions. So these are so to understand those questions requires machine learning, and that's where RankBrain comes in. So next we're going to talk about how to optimize for RankBrain, Google RankBrain. So as SEOs, we need to do something about this, right? We cannot just according to Google, according to the official suggestion of how to optimize for RankBrain, the greatest suggestion is always to give as much information in your website as possible. But as SEOs, we have to do something more, and that's where schema plays a very good role. As we know, schemas are basically specific pieces of codes that Google utilizes to extract information from your website. And what Google uses this information is to create their own knowledge graphs. So as you know, knowledge graphs are basically like different elements like site links, like if you type a specific entity in Google, you see a knowledge panel in the side of the SERP, you see Google Maps, you see different kinds of other features in the SERPs. Those are derived from the knowledge graph, which Google creates through the help of these schemas. Now there's a specific type of schema which can be used for RankBrain as well. So the spirit of RankBrain is to basically give as much information to Google as possible to make context of something. So what's the best way to create a RankBrain schema is to make sure that every other schema is from breadcrumb to article to organization to person, every other possible type of schemas are integrated into a particular into a particular coding set and then uploaded into the header file of that website. So let's say, but here's another problem. Like there are certain schemas which are implemented only at the page level, right? And there are certain schemas which are only implemented at the head level. So RankBrain schemas actually work in two ways. First, all the schemas that will, which need to be implemented in the head level need to be integrated as a single code and then uploaded. And the other ones, such as the blog schema, the blog posting schema, the recipe schemas, the product schemas, can be implemented in a separate way. The spirit. So that's how you actually optimize for RankBrain. But there is one single difference over here. While I was explaining RankBrain, I also talked about entities. So you can actually track which of the elements in your website are considered as entities in Google. So there's a special tool over there called as a knowledge graph API tool. So basically there's a tool by Calicube, which I have shared the link in the presentation, as you can see. From there you can actually check which are the elements on your website that are actually considered as entities in Google. So what would be your goal? Your goal would be to include those entities in each of your schemas wherever possible. How to do that? This is as I talked before of entity IDs. You can actually include your entity IDs in each of the schemas. All you have to do is you have to use the ID colon slash, and you have to write the entity ID of the of the respective entities. You will get the entity ID from the Calicube tool that I've just mentioned. Now, why do we do all this? We do all this to ultimately optimize for EAT. So EAT is expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So expertise means you are expertise is all about information. So you have to share as much information as possible, as per the topic or the particular niche on which you are working. Authoritativeness is how much people are referring to you. So basically it involves backlinks, it involves refers from other sources. So what you can do is include your social media profiles on your schemas and all other things that shows to Google that you are an authoritative figure and you know about the topic. Trustworthiness, it's basically includes reviews of on your website, reviews, testimonials, how your clients or your customers are actually responding to your service. So that can be done by the review schema and these sort of things. So let's now, so to wrap it up, RankBrain schema is all about giving as much information to Google as possible through the help of like the schemas. And another thing would be to always optimize for long tail keywords. So include long tail keywords into your long phrases into your articles and content as much as possible. And the third thing that I would always recommend is to identify which of the words or elements in your website are considered as entities in Google and to include them in all of your schemas. So that's it. Thank you.
So we had a great conversation with Subhajit, and I hope he have conveyed a lot of information regarding RankBrain, which can help any SEO experts like you and me to have a greater impact on our futuristic SEO strategies. But 4 important key takeaways from this discussion. The first one is RankBrain algorithm is not under rollout but have actually been started, and this has been started since almost the last 6 years, and this is the future of the SEO, because understanding the intent behind the context is the next level, and this is what can make a differentiation between a poor SEO versus a good SEO. The second important factor is RankBrain algorithm can be enhanced if you provide more information and context to your landing pages as possible. So you can possibly use that with the help of RankBrain schema or RankBrain structured data as explained by Subhajit a few minutes back. The thing is, if you introduce or if you embed as much as information as possible regarding your particular content, in that case RankBrain schema can be more triggered, and Google or search engines or spiders can more easily understand the context behind your landing page. Now the thing is, understanding the context is directly proportional to satisfying of the intent, and they are co-relatedly similar. The third point is that optimizing for the EAT algorithm can also have a direct benefit on RankBrain algorithm. So you can also watch our previous videos on EAT algorithms on how one can optimize for the EAT signals, which stands for expertity, which stands for expert, authority and trust, and this can have a direct level of improvement and a direct level of significance on RankBrain algorithm. Last but not the least, make proper utilization of long tail keywords. Do not have the misconceptions that long tail keywords do not have a good search volume, which is true, but the thing is, if you use more long tail keywords, your campaign can have a better semantic terminology and your campaign can be more well adverse to the proper intent of the users. So these 4 key takeaways can help you to reshape and rethink on how you can redevelop the content strategies and redevelop your on-page strategies to make sure that your content is not only satisfied for the users but also satisfied for the web crawlers by maintaining a proper intent. Thanks for watching.